Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It's Monday, but it's also the day after an epic, crazy, madness game in San Siro. Inter 4, Juventus 4. What a derby d'Italia. What a derby d'Italia. Last time, when we did the post-game of the loss of Stuttgart, you really appreciated that video with more than 10,000 views. I'm sure that we can do the same today because we have a lot of things to speak about. We'll go towards the tactics. If last time I told you where Thiago Motta lost the game against Stuttgart because he had a lot of things that we had to blame him, yesterday he made sure that Inter didn't run with the 3 points. That yesterday we were able, from a possible 5-2 for Inter, to go back with a 4-4. Kenan Yildiz, you know that it means star in Turkish. Well, Kenan Yildiz is shining. What a performance from our Turkish number 10. Not only him, the keys of the game, cambiato, etc. We have so many things to speak about in today's video. They try to humiliate us. I tell you the truth. The changes of Simone Inzaghi, they were meant to humiliate Juventus. No. It's more a loss for Inter than 2 points lost for Juve, I tell you. So put a maximum of like if you didn't yet. Please continue to subscribe to the channel to make that community bigger and bigger and bigger. You know it. More we are, better it is for the Juventini of the world that are unfortunately not speaking Italian. I kind of agree with IFTV, our friends from IFTV. Ciao Marco. And on the other side, I don't agree with Marco and IFTV. When they were writing their tweet yesterday, if you missed the game, you missed one of the, if not the best Serie A game ever. And no. My friends from IFTV, and no. Of course, if you're a neutral, why not? But this was not the most beautiful, the best ever game in Serie A. If we concede 4 goals, it's not the best game of Serie A. And I think that on that one, we agree with our friends from Inter. They will say exactly the same. When you concede 4 goals, it's not the best game of Serie A. When your team is not winning a derby d'Italia, it's not the best game of Serie A. So, a crazy, entertaining game, absolutely yes. And yesterday I told you, if you tell me, Beppe, choose between the most entertaining game and it finished in a draw or a boring game that you win, I would have signed for that boring victory of Juve. Then we need to speak also about how it went and how Juventus was able to go for that draw. And that's why today I'm more here with a smile than being angry because we lost 2 points. Because according to me yesterday, we won 1 point and it was not easy to do it. We speak about all of that. Gazzetta dello Sport, pazza e bellissima. Crazy and beautiful. What can we say about that title of the pink paper? Pazza is the word that has always been linked to Pazza Inter, Crazy Inter, e bellissima. I don't know if they were really happy and they wanted to open the page with something else. Anyway, it is what it is. Also for Gazzetta dello Sport, I kind of agree with Inzaghi. Not about everything because yesterday he was crying. But he was saying, la Juve stasera doveva prendere 7-8 gol. Juventus, they had to concede 7-8 goals. Well, I partially agree with the ex-Lazio coach that said 7-8 goals. Yeah, because at a certain moment we were here. We were collapsing. We were collapsing after that 4-2 because Inter was pressing and Inter was missing. Lautaro with the header, the shot from Barella, the shot from Di Marco. Di Gregorio was fantastic. And at a certain moment I was really scared. I had the flashbacks of the Napoli lost 5-1, the Empoli humiliation. I had all these games that were coming. Until the goal of Kenan Yildiz. That third one, that is the most important one of all of them. That third goal of Kenan Yildiz is fantastic. And yesterday, Thiago Motta said after the game, we wanted to win it. And probably we would have deserved it a bit more. I totally agree with Thiago Motta. There is one thing that I still didn't digest. And I'm still angry about it. Because I totally agree when Thiago Motta said, we probably deserved it a bit better. That 5-4 should have arrived. Because you all remember, or maybe not, but at the 84th minute, there is Kalulu. Fantastic, beautiful contrast. And he's taking that ball in the middle of the field. And you have a 6 against 4. You have a 6 against 4. Where Guida, the referee, that we were a bit dubious about, let's be honest about it, well, he decided immediately to stop it. While we know that in the story of Serie A, since the introduction of VAR, these kind of things where it's not a flagrant big fall in the middle of the field, you let play and then possibly you go back. Juve Verona. We went back to the baptism of Moiskin, something that I repeat a lot of time here on the channel. They could have done exactly the same. They didn't. Look at Kenan Yıldız, totally alone, with his both arms in the air. And it was not the first time that he did it, because he did it exactly the same at the 77th minute, when it was 4-3 for a possible 4-4. And that was also another thing that made me extremely angry. The quality of that second frame is not that beautiful, it's not that nice, but if you are able to go back, if you recorded the game, you will see that at the 77 he is doing exactly the same again with Kalulu, that is taking the ball, and then you have a player from Inter that is diving on the ground, that is nearly dying until the foul was whistled, and then magically he was doing better. These kind of things are making me extremely angry. Extremely angry. Not the penalties, because both of them were correct. They were correct, and that's where I am pissed off with Juve, because we gave too much. I will speak about that in a second. Ragazzi, yesterday we have to say thank you to our friends from Inter, especially to Nerazzurri Society, that stole the stats from Opta without giving them credit. He took it for him. Said, it's my tweet now. It is my stat. Look at the stat that I was able to discover on Opta. Since 2020, Inter is the only club in the top 5 leagues that has not conceded 4 goals in a single game. Until yesterday evening. And I think that this is one of the biggest jinx of all time in the football world of Twitter. Anyway, Corriere dello Sport, Gode Conte. And here we arrive to something that is true. It's Conte that is probably enjoying from that draw, because he goes as plus points of Juve, plus points from Inter. They were already at +3, and now they are flying. Now they are flying, they are there isolated, and we need to pay attention to the Napoli of Antonio Conte. Luckily, we have one football that is telling us, Pepe, pay attention, because in the next coming game, there is maybe a surprise. There is maybe a surprise that can potentially come, because it's true that they have 22, that Inter has 18 and we have 17, but in the next coming game something can happen. Look, the draw of yesterday can be only good if we win on Wednesday immediately against Parma. If we win against Parma on Wednesday, we give continuity to the points that we won against Inter, to the fact that we didn't lose a single game, because we have 9 games played. We did 4 wins, 5 draws, a bit too much. But then that draw makes sense. If we don't, then that draw will evaporate like that. We play against Parma. One football is telling us that Napoli will play against Milan, will play then against Atalanta, will play against Inter. 3 really difficult games. We will understand a bit better where Napoli is after the 3 games before the international break. Inter is playing against Empoli, Venezia and Napoli in Serie A. In the meanwhile, they have an extra game of Champions League against Arsenal, a tough game. They are playing at home. And we have Parma, Udinese and Torino, Derby della Mole. In the meanwhile, we have also that Champions League night of Lille. Lille, the surprise of Champions League at the moment, being able to beat Real Madrid and being able to beat Atletico Madrid. We will know a bit better. Guys, if you don't want to miss any single of these games of Serie A, if you want to watch that fantastic competition between Napoli of Antonio Conte, Inter that won the last Scudetto, and the new Juventus of Thiago Motta, you know what to do. For the people that are living in UK, Ireland, the link is into the description. You can go there and you can have the possibility to pick the game pay-per-view starting at $4.99, and you watch the game that you want. Or you go with the Team Pass, Juve, all the games of Juve until the end of the season, or you go for the full package. All the single games of Serie A, because you want to watch Juve Parma, but you also want to watch the Napoli-Inter game, the Inter-Venezia game. You want to watch the Milan-Napoli game. You want to watch all of them, and you have the possibility to do it. For other people, don't forget to download the app as well, because you will be updated live with all the news, with all the scores. Link into the description. We continue with the video with Tuttosport. They're saying, Mamma il Turco, Mamma mia, the Turkish player, 4-4, with a really smiling and happy Kenan Yıldız, especially after the second goal that he scored, the 4-4. That's where you see that he remembered that he had to do that celebration alla Del Piero, which he didn't do after the 4-3, because the 4-3 was not enough. He celebrated, but not with the alla Del Piero. It's the 4-4 where he says, okay, I did something important, because he's the youngest player ever in Serie A to score in an Inter-Juve 2 goals, so more than a goal. Crazy. He wrote history, Kenan Yıldız yesterday. Guys, I don't know you, but that control that he's making on that second goal, that control with the ball perfectly where it needs to be, and also the fact that we have a player that is able to shot with the same power with the left and with the right, because on that third goal that he scores is just crazy. The ball is arriving. Every other player should have gone inside, cutting, going centrally to go with a goal a la Del Piero that he scored, for example, against PSV in Champions League. He sees that he's blocked with Bisek that is on him. He prefers to go on the left and bam, with a goal. What a goal. Precise, fantastic, crazy goal. That third goal is beautiful. That fourth one as well, because that control him, because he's repeating himself. Yesterday, Kenan Yildiz, he entered from the bench like he should have done. And I'm happy because there started to be a bit too much controversy. What about the game? Because it was not only Kenan Yildiz, of course. You see the momentum. Juventus, they didn't even start bad yesterday. Juventus started actually quite well. Having the ball, forgetting immediately about that Stuttgart game. Remember, we said we want a reaction. We want to see the heads of the players. Because what will be the reaction after the first loss of the season? We didn't know. Because it's new for us, like it's new for Thiago Motta, like we have 12 new players, 9 new faces, 3 from the next gen, could have been a really big question mark. Well, they showed us immediately they were in the game, they wanted to do something in San Siro. Unfortunately, that's where we concede. Unfortunately, that's where we concede. We concede a goal, guys, that we are giving away. I said it yesterday, horror defense. Immediately, a defense of Halloween to remain in topic, but also a Santa Claus Juve, Christmas Juventus that was giving gifts. That first goal is a disaster from Danilo. I will come back on the defense in a second, but that first goal on Danilo is really a disaster. From Danilo, the penalty is a disaster. The second goal is awful, also because I had the flashbacks of Stuttgart. You have a perfectly aligned defense, and you take a goal like that from Mkhitaryan. Slow McKennie on that goal. Kalulu that is not closing fast enough. Cambiaso that is not cutting in. Difficult. Really difficult. That goal, you should not take it. That goal for a professional players and a professional team as Juve, you can't take it. And then that third penalty of Kalulu. That's not okay. Juventus, I told you yesterday, they were giving it away. That's why I don't agree with that second part of Inzaghi when he said, yes, of course, they should have conceded 7, 8 goals, but he forget that we give 3 away. Not 1, 3 goals away as gifts. How did Thiago Motta not lose the game? How was he able actually to do a different game? Of course, you will tell me, Beppe, we conceded 4 goals. Yes, it's true. Our defense was shaky. Our defense was horror yesterday. But the lineup. Yesterday, I was super happy to see a Thiago Motta that is going against the predicted lineup. Because in the predicted lineup, we see Cambiaso on the left with, again, Savona, Conceição. I have absolutely no problem with Savona. Yesterday entered really well, and I want to see him more and more and more. But in exactly the same game as Stuttgart, on that side of the field, the left side of Inter, with Di Marco, and we had Mittelstadt last time, if you're repeating the same, with Conceição and Savona, could have been a real problem. He's changing it. He's putting Cambiaso there, and that's where he's actually not losing the game. I want to say that's where he wins the game, but that's actually where we limit it. Look at that. Look at the images that I will show you. That triangle that we were able to do yesterday was probably also the same idea we had against Stuttgart. We're not able to do it against Stuttgart in Champions League. We're able to do it against the winners of the Scudetto, against Inter. Conceição, Cambiaso with the support of a McKennie that is growing also in physical condition. Not yet at 90 minutes, and yesterday, mamma mia, what a performance of McKennie. Again, a workhorse. That assist, a full performance until he could, because then he was dead. He was devastated, our Weston McKennie. But that's how actually we limited Bastoni, because Di Marco alone there. It's one thing. When you have a Di Marco that is going up and you are inviting Bastoni to go up, what they are usually doing at Inter, that's where the problems are starting. And that's where we limited them. Limiting Bastoni to stay extremely low. Chico Conceição yesterday was able to do a fantastic game. What a performance. If you are able to go back and watch, these kinds of 2-minute clips on Twitter that are showing, like only one player cam, Conceição was crazy. Yesterday, he took Bastoni, he said, I am the boss here. I am the boss here. I will make you totally crazy. How he's going with that assist for Weah, but much more that other assist for the 4th goal. Conceição from the first until the end, nobody could stop him. Nobody could stop Conceição yesterday. Mamma mia, what a player. But look at the difference. And that's where I tell you that Cambiaso was extremely important. That change of Thiago Motta was super important to put Cambiaso on the right side of the field, to protect him. Because Cambiaso, if you're looking at the lineup, is playing super high. He's playing super high on that right side. That is allowing Conceição to be there on the final third of the game, with Cambiaso that is taking care of all the rest. And that's actually what didn't work in the other game against Stuttgart, because look at the position of Conceição against Stuttgart. It was extremely low because Savona was not able to protect him as Cambiaso did yesterday against a player like Mittelstadt and that other defender that was going up. So that's where actually we don't lose the game in the beginning, where we actually win 2-1 at a certain moment. And then you have that big change. You have that big change of Yildiz there. Because until that moment, we were attacking a lot, on that right side. Attacking, only Conceição. And then he's feeling that Dumfries is out of power. He has no energy anymore. And that's where he put Yildiz there on the left. They tried to put Bisek, but Bisek couldn't stop him. That's where we win the game. That's where we come back on that 4-4, let's say. And then I loved also that genius move of Bangula. You will tell me, Beppe, why Vlahovic out and Bangula in? According to me, it's a really genius move because he knows that Dumfries is out of power. He has no power anymore, no energy anymore. He said, go, press them. Press. As a number 9, your role is pressing to put them in difficulty. But you know also why? You put him and not Adzic, because Bangula is able easily to switch on that left side to give that space to Yildiz to become a number 9 in certain moments. They didn't play along because Bangula enters really at the end of the game, but that was, according to me, an extremely intelligent move. Bravo. Man of the match, according to Gazzetta, with a high rate, Kenan Yildiz. I agree. Also a beautiful high rate for Thiago Motta with 7. I am happy that we see a Conceição with a 7.5, that we see a McKennie with a 7. On the other side, I totally agree with the worst of the game, that is Danilo with a 4.5. And I also agree with probably the worst game at Juve since he's there from Kalulu with a 5. These were the worst one of the game, especially Danilo. Look, Danilo was the one that we were doubting in the beginning of the game. When we saw this predicted lineup, I was really worried about that right side with Savona, Conceição. Luckily, Thiago provided to not make it happen. I was not confident about seeing Danilo, but on the other side, I said, guys, this is the only solution that we have, because Bremer is out for the remaining part of the season, because Gatti is not 100% in form, because Gatti has his own little problems, and we spoke about it yesterday. He just became father. I don't know how well he's sleeping. I don't know about that. I don't know about the ankle problem, how fit he is to play 90 minutes, and I don't know. So, also tactically, Thiago Motta explained it, and we said it also before, he's trusting Danilo more than Gatti in terms of carrying up the ball. Now I have to say that probably even there, the trust was probably not deserved, because we have a Danilo that is really extremely in difficulty. You know what you are feeling when you see Danilo on the predicted lineup? You say, Mamma mia, no, Danilo. Look at what he did against Stuttgart. You look at the other game. Danilo, the season is over. I think that he's thinking exactly the same. You see that he's not confident. And if you are playing with a player that is not confident, we have a problem. Certain players, they are able to come back immediately from that. I did a really bad game. I need to play, because if I play, I will make it better. And I will actually immediately win in my confidence boost. Looks like Danilo is not a player like that. More he plays, more he has that aura of negativity, that attraction of the darkness. I think that Danilo should be on the bench for a few games, as long as Kalulu and Gatti can play together. Now I saw some rumors and controversy about, but look at yesterday, Thiago Motta and Gatti is not playing because they had a problem, because they don't speak to each other, because they hate each other. These are the things that we start to read online. And then I remember that on Thursday, I saw the start of the training session on Thursday. They were hugging each other. So I don't know if something happened on Friday or Saturday, but according to some rumors, some papers, since days they are not speaking to each other, while the images are showing us something totally different. One thing is sure, but we'll have to get used to it. Bremer, we miss him. And we will miss him for the remaining part of the season. So until January, we have to do with the men that we have. It is what it is. What about the Scudetto? Well, calma for Thiago Motta. He said at the moment we can't compete. Napoli and Inter are the favorite. This is what he's saying. Today we put a performance that is really, really good, but we have to keep our feet on the ground, while Kenan Yıldız is going with other words. He's saying, oh, ragazzi, we believe in the Scudetto. Your choice, let me know in the Scudetto. Do you want to be cautious like a Thiago Motta? At the moment we can't compete. Words in front of microphones, or you go with that positivity, that optimism of Kenan Yıldız saying, let's go, andiamo ragazzi, we can do it. Or you go with Michele Di Gregorio that said it's ugly to concede 4 goals. It's a lot, huh? But it was important, the reaction of the team. If I was expecting that kind of result, well, I believe that this team has a lot of character, a lot of, let's say it, balls. And today they showed it once again. We can continue with that behavior that will bring us really, really far, far, far. Look, that's what I think that I want to say. We are all counting on Cope Manners, Nico Gonzalez, Douglas Ruiz, an informed Thuram from the first minute, and we are thinking that magically our season will turn and that we will win every single game. Calma. Only if we are able to put the behavior, the character, the reaction that we showed after Stuttgart against Inter. If we are able to do that, limiting our errors in defense, I think that this team has a really beautiful future. A really beautiful future. And that's the end of today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If yes, continue to put a maximum of like. Let's beat that algorithm. Continue to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve. Ciao.